Jeff, would you like to hear my new bell ding dong joke that I made up all by myself?
Oh no. Sure. Is it about JFK and having a bullet blasted through his head?
Absolutely
This
not.
is part 2.
Absolutely not.
No, okay.
Go back to the golf course if you're going to be such a goofball.
That was awful. If you could have delivered that in any way,
I
shape,
know.
or
I
form.
kind of forgot it. Here, we'll go in again. If you're gonna, I kind of forgot it when I said it. I'm like, there. That goes brain. My brain. Go back to the golf course if you're gonna be such a goofball. There we go. We got it. Nailed it. I know.
You know who really loves golf?
Lee Harvey Oswald?
No, actually, JFK did, but his back was so fucked he couldn't play, and then he couldn't play because he died.
Well,
part 2.
Having.
Welcome, everyone, to the brand new high-octane episode of You Hate to See It. This is the episode of Conspiracy Theories for JFK. So this is
I don't like how you hyped us up to have to be super fucking hyped for this.
Yeah.
This is our part 2, but you don't have to listen to part 1, but if you want to.
But you will have to listen to part 6 to get anything.
It got released last week. For our Drunken Jurors episode. So I'm Adam.
I'm Jeff, and I hate that he said you don't have to listen to the episode. I had to edit 6 hours before it fucking came out.
If you don't want to, I'm not telling you have to do anything. I wish you would listen to it.
I demand you do.
Okay.
I'm Nick. I'm just here.
Yeah, your episode hasn't been recorded yet.
I'm well aware. That's tomorrow's job.
This week, I am drinking Captain Morgan Apple Smash with watery Burger King Sprite.
The old Propel and vodka trick over here.
I actually don't have any liquids near me. Oh, hold on. That's a lie. Smoked garlic cilantro hot sauce.
What would it take for you to chug that?
Well, one, this is expensive hot sauce. 2, I don't know where to get any more of it.
You drink like half a bottle of bourbon every fucking episode. What does a fucking $10 bottle of hot sauce have to do with it?
It was like 15. Got it at a farmer's market.
Okay, so
I'm trying to judge how much is in here and how much more. No, because remember how I said I'm doing a colon cleanse?
That I bet.
Imagine how awful that would be.
That's gonna make sure that everything comes out of your colon.
It'll also cauterize your sphincter.
Oh, imagine how awful that would be. Just
so JFK's conspiracy theories. So I'm not going to bring up all of them, but I am going to bring up some fun ones.
There are a lot. We should do some of the more serious ones also.
Yeah.
No.
So the first big one is multiple gunmen. The conspiracy theory owes its origins not to some crank in a tinfoil hat, but rather to the U.S. House of Representatives. That's a direct quote from the Washington Post.
To be fair, most of the House of Representatives is just tin hats.
True. That can be bought.
To be fair, I think the entire U.S. Congress is a joke. So
that one was disproven because there were people after they heard the first shot, everyone thought it was like a backfire or like a firework going off. Mm-hmm. And then after the second one is when everyone noticed it was gunshots. And at that time, you now have hundreds of fucking people in a packed area looking down towards the grassy knoll. And over by the grassy knoll, multiple people state that they saw smoke. and they assumed that it was a second shooter. JFK's first shot winged JFK in the neck, and then the second shot is the one that blew his brains out, and the third one was the one that hit the governor, I believe. Right? Yeah. And so everyone thought the next shot, because Oswald hit him in the neck, everyone thought the second shot came from the grassy knoll to actually kill JFK because he missed. And also everyone thought Lee Harvey Oswald could not shoot the rifle that fast.
What kind of rifle was it?
It's a Kruger. What was it called? Hold on. It was Carcano. The Carcano model of 38 infantry carbine.
Carcano model 38, you said?
Yeah, 38 infantry carbine.
Mm.
And it was a 6.5 52 millimeter.
Bolt action.
Yeah.
And the shots were spaced how far apart?
That I do not know. But people thought he couldn't get targeted again, and pull the bolt. But he's also a trained, he's trained with guns. Like he would.
So it's possible. The thing is that it's not a straight back rifle bolt. And I guess depending on the scope he would have had, it is possible that with enough training, as you said, that he could, and with the right scope, he could fire rechamber a round and fire again without ever really having to take his eye off the target, without ever having to remove his eye from the scope and having to resight.
So it looks like he shot all three within 11 seconds.
Oh, that's very doable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's extraordinarily. No.
They're also moving slow. But so back to what I'm trying to get to. People said they saw smoke over there, over the grassy knoll. And then there were some witnesses that said they saw some guy run away. I mean, shots were just fucking fired at the president. I would probably fucking run too. And then they also did, I can't remember what agency. I want to say it was the FBI tested firing different rifles from the grassy knoll, and none of them produced enough smoke for anyone to notice. Obviously you would notice it, but not the amount that everyone was saying. So they disproved it. And then they also did the test of the angle of the bullets, and the angle is from the top of the fucking of the depository. But I get where they're coming from, because I mean, back then, none of us were alive back then. I don't really fucking know, but
I just looked up the actual rifle that he used. So if the rifle's a line, the scope is up and a little to the left, so that way it's literally designed so that way you can rechamber around and stay on target.
So they also said that when they checked the rifle after they found it, that the scope and the scope he had made it literally that any untrained person could probably shoot with pinpoint accuracy. And he was not untrained. So
yeah. No, he could have done it with iron sights with his training.
Yeah, I mean the deposit, they drove under the depository. It's not a far distance for him to have popped the shots and hit him.
Have you guys heard of the Umbrella Man?
Yes, so they
No.
actually ended up finding that guy.
Yeah, so it's involved. It's part of the multiple gunmen. There's a man with a black umbrella that they say shot a poisonous dart into Kennedy's neck to immobilize him, to allow for Oswald or others to deliver the kill shot. But they found the guy, and
they also said that he could have been the one that told that was the fire now,
Yeah, and to give the signal, but
Yeah, there we go.
His name was Louis Stephen Witt, and that he says he brought the umbrella to heckle, not murder the president.
He also has the umbrella still.
Yeah, he has the umbrella, and he said that the black umbrella was a trademark of Nazi appeasing British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain, whom Joseph Kennedy had supported. So he was there to heckle, and he said that he wasn't even aware of the conspiracy theories over his umbrella until years later.
It also got re-sparked because of the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
In season 2, one of the main characters is standing there during the JFK assassination with a black umbrella, and like the president gets shot, and then he just walks away. And it's like their dad is the umbrella man.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, it's way cooler if it wasn't so stupid.
Yeah. Another conspiracy theory is that it was an inside job. Another belief is that American officials were somehow involved. One theory is that the fatal bullet actually came from the driver of Kennedy's own car as he attempted to fire upon Oswald. And it says, if you look at a really bad copy of the Zapruder film,
okay,
it will look like William Greer, the driver, reached over his shoulder with a gun and shot Kennedy in the head. And that's a quote from John McAdams, author of the JFK Assassination Logic: How to Think About Claims of Conspiracy.
So one of the things is there was no Secret Service in the president's car. And that's kind of where anything could happen, I guess. But like, if they say you have to look at a really shitty version of the video,
it's only that version of the video that it looks like this.
Also, JFK, like I said, the first shot that hit him went in his neck, and he immediately grabbed his neck with one hand and then reached out his arm. So I'm assuming that's probably what got the driver. And also, if he got shot in the neck, little trigger warning here, he probably was gurgling blood pretty much immediately. But I don't know, like there's a lot of conspiracies of like it was an inside job, and I referenced it in the first episode. The reason that the conspiracy started is because CIA and the FBI both realized after Lee Harvey Oswald killed JFK and they knew it was him, that they had him on lists, but just never really kept up with it because they're like, nothing could really happen with him. And then he did it, and they're like, wipe everything we have on Lee Harvey Oswald.
I have a whole thing about that coming up.
Oh, boy.
So there's one conspiracy theory that the mob did it.
So yeah, this has to go back to his dad, right? With like the whole union thing.
It's his brother, Robert Kennedy, felt that he accidentally killed his own brother due to the mob.
His brother was like starting a huge investigation into the five families, right?
Yep. Robert Kennedy's attempts to prosecute the mob and to kill Castro had backfired.
He was in like New York, wasn't he? He was like a DA.
He was Boston. No, he was AG.
That's right.
That's one of the huge things about the Kennedys was nepotism. Like he appointed his own brother to be AG, which is nepotism.
So Robert thinks that because he was investigating the mob, that the mob had his brother killed. I mean,
it could happen.
Yeah,
I
was like,
guess,
that's when I'm like, that. I mean,
if you think back to back then, like the mob could do a lot of things and get away with it.
Yeah,
but something that large, like they can do a lot of things within like cities and get away with it. I don't know if they could do it on a national scale and somehow come out clean. But yet again, the mob probably has some of the best hitmen that you could buy if they're not already a part of your mob.
Yeah.
I don't know, Nick, you got anything more on that one? You're the one that knows a little bit more about the mafia. conspiracy theory.
It so oh god, it has to do with how when the Cuban Revolution happened and Castro took power, the mob had a lot. If you ever watched The Godfather, the mob had a lot of businesses in Cuba at the time, and when Castro took power, they all just kind of got kicked out of their casinos that they had just built over the past 10 years and were making money on. And they're like, hey, if we kick Castro out and, it's a more US friendly government, we can go back and just reopen our casinos. We can reopen everything. We can start making money again. And that was how the mob played into the assassination attempts on Castro. And then Bobby Kennedy started targeting the mob. I'd say this is one of the more believable conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I would agree.
I'd say it's much more believable than a lot of the other ones. When we talk about Jack Ruby next week, there is another conspiracy where Lee Harvey Oswald was paid by the mob to kill JFK. And then before he could talk, while Lee Harvey Oswald was a communist and just a hired gun, Jack Ruby was a devoted made man for the mob. He wasn't, but that's like the theory, was that he was a made man for the mob, and he took the fall and killed Lee Harvey Oswald. So that is a theory. And
yeah,
it's again, it's one of the more believable ones.
Yeah. I mean, Lee Harvey Oswald definitely would have done anything for money.
Yeah.
That man fucking hated the fact that he was poor, even though he literally did it to himself. Along with communism. Dumbass.
Yep.
So this next conspiracy theory is one that has been discredited, but Donald Trump wholeheartedly believes it to be true.
Oh, this should be lit.
So this was before Trump became president.
I would hope so.
While he was running, he was battling Senator Ted Cruz.
Oh my God!
For the Republican presidential nomination, and claimed that Ted Cruz's father, Rafael Cruz, had been spotted with Oswald before the shooting. This is a quote. His father was with Lee Harvey Oswald prior to Oswald's being, shot, Trump said during a telephone interview. I mean, the whole thing is ridiculous. What is this, right? Prior to his being shot, and nobody even brings it up. I mean, they don't even talk about that. That was reported, and nobody talks about it.
Trump this fucking guy was reaching for anything, man.
Trump appeared to be referencing an April 2016 National Enquirer article headlined "Ted Cruz, Father Linked to JFK Assassination," and it contained a photo of the two together in New Orleans in 1963.
Okay, so Lee Harvey Oswald's time in New Orleans was not a good time. He was, while he was in New Orleans, he kept bouncing between like family members until they got their own place. And then it was like his wife and kid finally moved in. And then he wasn't making money because he couldn't find a good job. And his plan was, I think he was just going to go to Cuba. That was his whole point of being in New Orleans, was he was just going to get money to get a boat and go to fucking Cuba because he loved Fidel Castro. So it wouldn't surprise me that he just met him there. And also, how the fuck does that link you to the fucking assassination that happens later in a different fucking city after he moves back? Like,
yeah,
the amount of people that talk to Lee Harvey Oswald at work in the depository the morning of him killing JFK. Wild. I don't know. That one's a stretch.
It's really stupid.
It's really dumb, but it
It's a
also
really
does
dumb
not.
one.
It does not surprise me that fucking Trump used that to fucking slide his way into the candidate to be the top candidate.
He also called his wife ugly, I think.
Ted Cruz is the one that looks like the fucking Zodiac killer, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the senator from Texas.
Yeah. Okay.
So the next one is the one that Jeff was talking about earlier, the CIA conspiracy theory. So there's like there's a lot of different conspiracies revolving around the CIA. One of them is that Oswald was actually a CIA agent and the CIA wanted to take out JFK.
Okay, so the CIA's reason for wanting to take out JFK would have been what?
Buddy, I don't know.
He balked on the Bay of Pigs invasion.
Yeah.
Because CIA wanted the U.S. to actually support the Bay of Pigs invasion. Kennedy was like, last minute backed off and didn't give them any of the support that they were promised.
Yeah. Okay.
And then there's one that says that the CIA and the FBI were framing Lee Harvey Oswald for this.
I mean,
and
I
they say that they have phone records and recorded phone calls, but that they had the CIA agent pretending to be Oswald on faked phone calls that they then recorded and said were Oswald.
So I guess I could see this one from the fact of Oswald wasn't an intelligent man. He didn't finish high school. He joined the Marines and he never got like more schooling. He went to Russia. He learned enough Russian to somehow get by, and then he just wasn't smart. He was like kind of street smart-ish, but I could see the CIA, because when you think about it, CIA, big ass federal agency known for being secretive. With the lack of information I know about this one, I guess I could see it. Because but the book that I listened to with the facts that they had was that the CIA, how it went with Lee Harvey Oswald was the CIA and the KGB, like he wanted to be a KGB agent, but they didn't want him because he had literally no qualifications doing so. Because when he was he was like, I'm a Marine. I was a U.S. Marine. Like, I can give you intel. And they're like, you are a fucking private. What fucking intel could you give us that would literally help us in any fucking combat situation with the United States of America? Yeah. Or even getting us started on going into a combat situation. And then he comes back to like, what would he give the CIA? He lived in Russia, not in Moscow. He never talked to KGB agents. What the fuck was he going to help them with? Like, other than being a fall man, which I guess could work. Cause I'm sure, I mean, and then you also look at all this failed CIA things that they do, like projects like MK Ultra. That was a really bad thing that everyone knows about because they fucked it up so bad. I just don't believe the CIA. So when the CIA does things and it kind of gets found out, it's like such a fuck up that there's like, it's just like, okay, you guys are idiots. Like, you got MK Ultra. During that time, there was a KGB agent that told them that there was a high-ranking someone in the CIA who was a mole for the KGB, and they went on a 20-year phantom hunt for the said fucking guy just to find out that he never fucking existed. Like, I could see how it could work, but also the CIA just tends to fuck up large-scale things like this.
Yeah. And then one of the other ones is that they had been notified of a possible assassination. It had a bunch of documents on Oswald that they just really thought it carried any weight. And that they knew the assassination was going to happen, but did nothing because they thought it was just bullshit. And then when it happened, they FBI and CIA wiped everything about Oswald clean to not be scrutinized for the fact.
I 100% believe that.
Yeah.
I 100% believe that they could have fucking found out that this was probably going to be a thing that happens, and they just, oh, wash my hands of this, and we're gonna walk away and come back later and make it look like we have no idea what the fuck's going on.
So another theory is called the military industrial complex, because so Dwight D. Eisenhower, before he left office, warned the nation about the power of the military establishment in the arms industry. It is believed that had Kennedy lived, that there probably would have been no Vietnam War, and that the military industrialists had Kennedy killed because they wanted war to make money, and because it was looking like we weren't going to have a war, that they killed him.
Okay.
And that's essentially, it's a lot of stuff, but essentially,
yeah, because Vietnam started not too long after this, right?
yeah,
That-
Vietnam was already heating up.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. We do make bank during wars, so
yeah.
But I don't know. I guess it could happen. Like, he was a trained military, like he was a Marine or an ex-Marine, I guess he's not. I always forget that he was only like 25 when he did this.
I have no faith in any of the conspiracies where it's like someone inside the government outside of the CIA that convinced him to like kill him just because of his relationship with the Soviets.
Well, I mean, that theory doesn't say that Oswald killed him. Like, it could,
That's true.
like, it's not specific on who killed him. It's just saying that they had him killed.
Oswald did. I don't know.
So whether it was Oswald or multiple gunmen or whatever that conspiracy theory is, could have been because of this
it
conspiracy.
just doesn't make sense because of how Oswald's next steps went, with him leaving, him fleeing the depository and missing the roll call of seeing, like, for all the employees after this incident, and him leaving a cop, pulling him over, him shooting the cop and killing him, and then
Nothing
going
seems
and then
planned
trying
out well.
yeah, and then hiding in a movie theater and then trying to kill that cop also. I don't know. And then also the way he just flaunted himself after it. Yeah, I don't know. That one doesn't seem too likely. I get it. I definitely understand where that's coming from. But I'm kind of with Nick on, like, I think the CIA is really the only one that can get away with that type of shit if they do it.
Well, also, so here's where I say, conspiracies, and then I come out and say I don't believe in any conspiracies. I am a firm, I think I might have said it on the show before, I am a firm believer in Occam's razor, which is the philosophical razor that anything that can be attributed to malice must first be attributed to stupidity, or something similar to that. I can look at the exact quote. Occam's. Simple explanation is usually the best one. So like, basically, Lee Harvey Oswald, like, if we look at it being like, oh, the CIA thought, hey, we'll hire this former Soviet to fucking this former American traitor Soviet dude to kill the president in order to overthrow the government and then start an invasion into Cuba and the military industrial complex so we can start a war in Vietnam. And so the fucking, I don't know, the guys at Boeing can get a fucking jet contract. Or it's that, or Lee Harvey Oswald was a crazy former Soviet who thought, I'm going to kill this bastard who thinks that he can destroy the Soviet Union. Which one of those seems more likely in the grand scheme of things?
So another conspiracy theory is that LBJ had hired someone to assassinate JFK. These are based primarily on statements made by a Madeline Brown, who was described as a crackpot. She died in 2002. She claimed to have had an affair with LBJ, and that at a party with ex-Vice President Richard Nixon, FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover, and others the night before the attack, LBJ whispered into her ear, "After tomorrow, those Kennedys will never embarrass me again. That's no threat. That's a promise." But then they say that they've done some research and they don't think LBJ was even at that party.
Do we think LBJ was intelligent enough to do this? All right, so I think Nick and I are in agreement that LBJ is not smart enough to have pulled this off.
Another conspiracy theory is that Oswald acted as part of a larger unknown conspiracy.
If you can't give me the other conspiracy, I don't fucking care.
It's
saying like Illuminati, like
no,
what?
well, so they're going back and saying that there were possibly individuals who helped Oswald but weren't part of any of these larger conspiracies. And they say, remember, John Wilkes Booth shot Lincoln and 4 were hung.
I mean, it's possible that John Wilkes Booth was, because that was so long ago and so little. I don't know. I guess I don't know if there's so little known about it, but I mean,
so it wasn't really a conspiracy because they didn't provide any actual help, but he did meet with people at a hotel a few days before the assassination to like be like, hey, something might be going down if you want in. And then everyone there was like, haha, no.
Oh, you also at this point,
all of those people
I could understand the John Wilkes Booth one. I could believe because it was just so long ago, and it was right after Abraham Lincoln brought the South back into being part of the U.S. So I could see a whole other government doing something with that.
So, one theory, this one's insane. The same film that people think that showed the driver holding the gun.
Okay.
And some people also think there was a gun in Jackie's hand and that she shot her husband. If you're wondering about motive, the Marilyn Monroe thing. And then there's a related theory that Joe DiMaggio hired Oswald to take Kennedy out because the Kennedys killed Marilyn Monroe.
So that's, oh my God. Yeah, that's all fucking wild. But everyone can agree that JFK treated fucking Jackie like just such garbage. I mean, I guess she could, except the angles don't work out.
Also, the only film that can prove this has also been proven to be the
Awful.
Worst film. Like, so terrible.
Jesus.
But how do you feel about the Kennedys killing Marilyn Monroe? So Joe DiMaggio had hired Oswald to kill.
But doesn't that mean he knows that the Kennedys killed
Brando? I think it was Marlon Brando who killed Marilyn Monroe.
And then the final conspiracy theory. I'm just going to read.
I'm going to up the
this.
last one.
Great.
I'm going to say Joe DiMaggio actually shot him.
Okay.
And in that poorly shot video, they actually edited out Joe DiMaggio standing on the back of the convertible with the gun.
Joe DiMaggio's actually in the grassy knoll.
Yeah. He disguised his rifle as a baseball bat.
So he this last one, I'm not even going to tell you the name of the conspiracy theory. I'm just going to read the text associated with it. Was JFK too curious about UFO activity? Or did he have secret information that somebody was willing to kill to protect? Was that someone human or intergalactic? That's it. That's the only information.
There have been a ton of presidents. I think you had Trump do it.
Carter's whole thing was he wanted
to
show
that was
everything.
One of the main things that he ran on.
And then he got in there and he showed nothing because he was like, I can't do that.
Yeah, this bad. Again, as someone who's a firm believer in Occam's razor, I think there's a solid chance that Carter got in and was like, This is all just military secrets. Damn, DARPA be doing work.
So Carter's an interesting one with that because I think he goes in there and he's like, oh, yeah, no, this is worse than I thought. This cannot be shown to the general public.
I think Carter got in there and was just like, we do have fucking planes that can do this shit.
Yeah, no, there is a very
the Soviets can't know about that.
Yeah, there's a very high chance that he goes in and he's like, yeah, I can't show this because the rest of the world will now know what we've already got.
Yeah. I think that's a really strong possibility.
Fun fact that I don't know if I said it for last week's episode. Did I tell you guys the fun fact about the car that JFK was shot and killed in? Okay, so fun fact about the car. It was just washed off, the bubble top put back on. That same car was used all the way through Carter's administration. It's the US government. They couldn't just buy another car.
Hey. Back then, someone actually believed in the dollar and not modern monetary theory. Jeff, you think that anyone in the US government has read any economics book in the past 30 years? A single one of them? No.
Yeah, there you go. There's a fun fact about that car that JFK was shot in. All right, Nick.
All right.
So this is going to become the best conspiracy theory about JFK. This is going to be this is the truth. You heard it here first.
All right. You ready for it?
What's it called?
How Bezos and the trade winds killed JFK.
No. Oh, when was Jeff Bezos born? I gotta look that up real quick.
I don't think Jeff Bezos is that old. Oh, maybe.
Jeff Bezos was born 1 year after the Kennedy assassination. You escaped it by 1 year, Bezos. You dodged that by 1 year. Hold on. Bill Gates? Bill Gates was alive. All right. So we got it. All right. So this is called the Greer-Gates paradox.
Oh, no.
All right. So hold on. I'm still thinking about how I'm fitting Bill Gates into this. All right.
Not thinking of, remembering how Bill Gates did this.
Remembering how Bill Gates fits into this. Who the fuck are his parents? All right, there we go. This works well. This works out. Okay. So the real target was William Greer. Because they knew that if they could take out Greer, that would scare Kennedy enough into appeasing the communists, into backing down from Cuba, and this would allow Bill Gates Sr., who was a World War II vet who made chums with the Soviets during the war and had secret Soviet sympathizations with sympathies with
Jesus fuck. Don't worry, those synapses will fire together all at the same time at some point.
Where I'm getting to is Bill Gates Sr., under the guise of not newly born, under 9-year-old Bill Gates Jr. targeted and tried to kill William Greer, but because of an old war injury that caused the metal in his skull to ring wrong, caused by the trade winds. The trade winds blew sporadically and caused the metal in his head to ring, and instead shot pulled, and he hit JFK. Boom. You're welcome. Eyes open, sheeple.
The only thing I actually have as a question from that is Bill Gates actually a junior?
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
Where is Lee Harvey Oswald brought into this?
Oh,
Yeah.
Lee Harvey Oswald? Lee Harvey Oswald wasn't there. He was busy killing a cop.
Oh, oh no! Oswald was never at the depository. He literally was just stopped for like crack cocaine and just shot and killed this guy. No. You can't make jokes like that. You can't just come out on the record like that. He was too busy. I like how you have it as if he had it penciled into his fucking day. I can't make the JFK fucking brigade because
I got killing cops at 3:30.
I have to kill a cop, and right behind that, I have to go to the theaters. I have to kill this cop, and then right after that is the beginning of the showing of this new movie that I have to see. So my wife is gonna tell me all about it if I don't see it before her.
Thanks for listening, everyone. You can find all of our links in our link tree below in the description. We're available wherever you listen to podcasts, and the top button of our link tree takes you to our Patreon, our Podbean website, and there you can donate some increments of money per month at the $1 level. You get to join our Discord, talk to us directly, and you get to watch our Taskmaster special. And pretty soon here we're doing our second Taskmaster special, and you'll be able to watch that one too.
December 18th.
December 18th. At the $3 level, you get all of our unedited video versions of the podcast, where you can hear just normal conversations along with a lot of jokes that aren't allowed to be said in public. So
It's fine. I'm about to be haunted by the ghost of JD Tippett.
So thanks so much for listening, everyone.
Oh,
Have a really good night.
So, at what part of your cleanse do the enemas start?
so once I finish the bottle, I get to just kind of fill it up with hydrogen peroxide, and then I sit on it and roll over.
Nick's just over here doing somersaults with a pill bottle shoved up his ass.
This is a bold play, Cotton. I'm excited to see how it plays out, though. All right, how many horrible jokes about the JFK assassination can we make before getting into the intro music?
What do you think the scortistics of JFK's head were?
Oh, no.
Oh, I liked it. Yeah.
Hi.
I liked it.